Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. This special board meeting of the Board of Trustees is being called to order on September 24th, 2019. The time is 5:31. If you'll all please join us by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3, new business. A, consider approval of SISD police officer, peace officer job description. Ms. Stiles.
Good evening, President Nájera, Dr. Espinosa, members of the board. My name is Selena Stiles, and I am one of the directors of Human Resources. And tonight we're bringing you the job description for the police peace officer with the change in days from 187 to 239.
Ms. Stiles, is that the only change to the job description?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
So as we were talking about, the police officer who will be at our elementary schools,
Yes, ma'am.
they will work the 187 days,
That's
correct?
correct.
Do we need to specify that on the job description? When someone looks at it, they won't know whether they're working the 187 or the 239? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know if it needs to be specified or not.
So we'll specify it on the job posting when it's posted and advertised that it'll be for 187 days. But we didn't want to create a brand new job description because it's the exact same thing. We just put the range of days.
Okay, and like our police officers at our middle school and our high school, they will work 187 as well, or the 239? Can you tell me why, the difference?
So during the intersessions in the summer, we still provide services to the schools. And so it just makes sense to leave those in that stead rather than have 70 people for that time frame where we have way too many.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and it saves us a bit of money.
Yes, ma'am. The thought is that there's approximately a $10,000 savings per position.
Okay, okay.
Ms. Donna had a question.
Mr. Guerra?
Mr. Castorena, from our, and I see the job description, now we change it to police officer. Before we're looking at a peace officer or a police officer, but just at the campus in the elementary, or did that change as far as uniforms?
What I'm wearing, sir, is what they will wear.
Well, no, because when you explained it to us the first time,
Yes.
so that changed.
As we were having the conversations, it evolved to this is the way they're going to present themselves.
So not they're going to be wearing a police uniform?
Yes, sir.
And if they get a call out or something else happens on the campus?
No, they are strictly for elementary schools. The officers at the middle schools and the high schools will continue to provide those services. The elementary police officers are going to be resident at the campus.
Because on the job description, I thought I read that they have to follow all guidelines. I just want to.
Yes, sir. And those are post orders, if you will, that we are developing and will assign to those individuals.
Okay.
If for whatever reason we have a situation where we absolutely have to pull them in the event of an active shooter or whatnot, that's totally different. That would be the only extreme that we would pull them.
So
Other than that, they are resident at the campus.
So we are looking at uniformed police officers?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I have a question, Ms. Nakara.
Yes, sir, Mr. Garcia.
Chief, first of all, thank you so much for the great work that you always do.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing. I'm so very proud of you. I'm so proud to brag to the community about the work that you all do.
Thank you, sir.
My question is, will the training, once they get hired, I'm assuming they'll go through a training?
Yes.
And how long is that?
So we're looking at 80 hours, sir. Our goal is to hire experienced officers for this position so that all we're doing is providing them our policies, procedures, and brushing them up on juvenile law. A lot of the law enforcement officers that are retired rarely dealt with law or juvenile issues during their tenure, so we need to bring them up to speed with that.
10-4. And then also, so those 80 hours will be part of the 187?
That is when we're hiring them now. when they're hired, the kids are in school 177 days, so the 10 days that are left over is when we will create the curriculums, if you will, to maintain their hours. As law enforcement officers through the state, we're required to maintain 40 hours of continuing education a year.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Is this an action item?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yes, President Nahara?
Yes.
If I may, number one, I do want to thank Chief, and his entire department. I also want to thank our trustees, because I spoke to each board member when we started these conversations a while back about, it's our number one strategic direction, and now with the climate, in our country, we have to make sure that our actions speak louder than our words. And we have police officers at our secondary schools, high schools, middle schools, pre-K-8, but our most vulnerable population, they don't have a police officer. So, I do want to thank the trustees for their support, because they agreed that our students, our little ones, along with our employees, are safe. And so as many of y'all know, that whenever I make decisions, I'll get input from different stakeholders in our community, talk to the trustees, but also, as a matter of fact, Mr. Mena was present. We met with the Superintendent Student Advisory Council, which are some amazing, bright students, and I bounced that question off of them. Mr. Mena and I, we talked to them, and it was just overwhelmingly that our students said, yes, we do need police officers at our elementary campuses. Many of them have little cousins, little brothers at the elementary schools. So again, it's 20, 25 years ago, this would never have been a topic of discussion, but nowadays, our parents want to make sure that when they send their children to one of our 49 schools, that they're safe, both physically and also emotionally. So, Chief, look forward to you hiring these individuals to make sure our campus continue to be safe. By the same token, I want to share a powerful, that I saw it for the first time today. In my opinion, it's a powerful video. It's about 2 minutes. Mr. Trustee, Mr. Guerra called me and says, hey, maybe you want to check out this video, and it was just, it hits home, So at this time, if maybe some of y'all have seen this was the first time I saw it today, but I was like, wow. So we can, see this video. It's got to do with, it's a Sandy Hook video. So go ahead, guys.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class.
These colored pencils too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Wow. Nothing needs to be said after seeing that video. It's just, again, I want to make sure all of our students are safe. Many of us in this room, are parents or have grandkids. I don't know if any trustee has any other comments that they want to add, but.
Are there any other questions?
Ms. Nahara, I got one question for the chief, real quick. How many positions are you looking at?
23, sir.
10 for. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was you, Mr. Guerra. You seconded? No, Mr. Mitchell. I have a motion to approve by Ms. Rodriguez and a second by Mr. Mena. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries.
Thank you for the support.
Okay, you're gonna have to warn me briefly. Sorry about that. Item number 4, executive session. The meeting is to be closed to consider administrative recommendations for Assistant Superintendent for Administrative Services, Assistant Principal at Robert R. Rojas Elementary School, and Licensed Specialist in School Psychology. Good grief, sorry. Under Texas Government Code Sections 551.072. The time is 5:41. Okay. We're back in session. The time is 6:18. We'll continue with item number 5, new business. A, consider approval of administrative recommendations. Dr. Espinosa? And number 1, we have Assistant Superintendent for Administrative Services.
Yes, President Nájera, members of the board, administration recommends Ms. Melissa Parham to assume all the roles and responsibilities as the new assistant superintendent.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gondeta and a second by Mr. Mena. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries. Item A2, Assistant Principal at Robert R. Rojas Elementary School.
Yes, President Nájera, members of the board, administration recommends Ms. Virginia Acevedo to assume all the roles and responsibilities as assistant principal at Robert Rojas Elementary.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Guerra and a second by Ms. Rodriguez. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries. And item A3, Licensed Specialist in School Psychology.
President Nájera, members of the board, administration recommends Ms. Karina Munoz to assume all the roles and responsibilities as a new licensed specialist in school psychology.
Motion to approve.
Second?
I have a motion by Mr. Mena and a second by Mr. Gonda. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries. If there's no further business before this board, we are adjourned. The time is 6:20.
Why are